All right, when I was coming up with the idea for this video, I was thinking of like responsibility. And we have to take responsibility for our actions, the ones we do and the ones we don't. Because it's like before, I just, you have to, I try to be nice all the time because I am most of the time. But I also want to speak truth because sometimes you got to hear the hard truths. Like, no one's coming to save you. You're the one that's responsible for your actions. You're the one that has to take the next step to whatever it is that you're doing. And again, some of that's going to be uncomfortable. I always have days where I'm uncomfortable still. But that's the thing is you have to push through those days. You have to take responsibility for your actions and what you've done. You can always change in a moment, in an instant, whatever that is. But you're the one that has to take the steps and not listen to the naysayers and all the people telling you not to do it, saying it won't work, that you have to use logic, that you have to do it the way that we all have been taught. And the funny part is if it was the way we were all taught, there'd be way more people doing it. So I feel like some of that stuff they don't teach us in school. They don't, you know, stand on a mountaintop and say it. I feel like they're things you have to find by yourself, like through. See that's the thing with America. We're free, but we're also free to find our own information out. But that doesn't mean they're going to tell us everything that we need to know to be successful. You kind of have to figure that stuff out on yourself, man. But you have to keep looking. You have to want to do it. And like, yeah, I keep writing stuff on this board of good things that that get me. And it's like, progress is everything. You have to keep pushing forward. You have to do it little by little, step by step. And I'm always preaching that. And that just because you're not where you want to be today does not mean you won't be there, in the future. But you have to already feel yourself as your future self. Like you have to think about, like, if you have a goal of what you want to do, like see yourself how you would feel if it was already done, because then you can kind of get that picture in your head of what it would feel like, what it would look like. Or ask yourself, what would it, if you're looking for to become successful, like what are some of the decisions that a successful people would do? And then visualize yourself doing those things. Because the more you do this, the more you grow, the more that you become comfortable with it. It's going to feel uncomfortable in the beginning. It's just the way that it is. It's something that you've never done before. It does not feel great when you first start doing it. It does not feel comfortable until you get doing it. I remember when I first got on here and started doing these videos, like I was very uncomfortable. It may not have looked like it on the outside. I don't really know because I wasn't the one watching myself. I knew how I felt on the inside, and I still do from time to time. But that's the thing is that you got to fight through that. You got to push through that. So, and again, like, just see yourself being confident, see yourself being resilient, see yourself, get a vision of who you get that vision of who you want to see yourself as. I want to have impact on people. I want people to understand that you can do more than you thought possible. But you have to believe first and you have to be willing to take the necessary steps and realize that it's not going to happen all at once. It's not going to happen, all the time. It's like I was talking with my friend today and we were saying like I look at it as an action potential, like when nerves in your brain fire. Like when it reaches that threshold point, it's no stopping it, but sometimes it doesn't reach that threshold. And we were talking about making leaps, like different timelines and quantum leaps and like aha moments and realizing stuff. And if you keep doing the work, if you build these habits every day of just doing little stuff, then you'll start to gain momentum, and then you can do a little bit more and a little bit more, and then they start stacking on top of each other, and then you get up to that threshold, that action potential, and then all of a sudden you see something you didn't realize before. And again, we're in a society that bases everything, overnight, now, and I get it. Everybody wants instant gratification. Everybody wants a success overnight. But there's a saying, I can't remember who said it. It's like I worked my whole life to become an overnight success because you don't see the little stuff done that's not in the public. Like, Tony always talks about Steph Curry. He shoots all these threes when we ain't watching, when he's in the gym practicing, but we only see, the whatever thousand he's made in the games. And with everything, we never saw Jordan and all the greats in practice all the time, and they would shoot so many shots a day just so they could be, when the game come, they were ready. But that's the little stuff here, Not everybody sees me meditate every day, but I've done it every day for years, and we all can do that. But we have to start somewhere. When I first started meditating, I couldn't do it every day. And I remember, Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer were two of my favorite authors, and they would always say, to reach your highest level, you have to meditate every day. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. I was like, I can't even do it for 5 minutes sometimes. But this is when I first started. And then I didn't even know, like, it was weird because I would do it like once a month, once every couple weeks, once a week, here and there, putting headphones on and listening to it and not even knowing if I'm doing it right. But yet I'm like, man, I think I was asleep, but I'm not sure. But that's what meditation does. It puts you in that different state. But then when I went on a retreat and it just came out of nowhere, I just happened to be watching videos one time and just felt something, I wanted more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to contribute more. I wanted to become more and do something more. And then, I knew who Deepak was, so I went on his website, and his co-founder, Dr. Simon, just happened to, they had meditation retreats and a spiritual retreat, and he was saying people come there because they want more, they want to discover who they are, and all this stuff. And it felt like he was speaking right to me. He was like in this video that I'd never seen before. He was answering the questions that were in my head, and I was like, all right, well, I guess this is, meant to be. And then I ended up going on the retreat. And at the end of the retreat, they're like, it takes around 21 days to create a habit, and we've already helped you with 7, so we challenge you to do it for 14 more days and see what happens. And then obviously I did do it for that, and I just didn't stop. But that's the thing, is if you challenge yourself and do it anyway, whether you feel like it or not, you will get further than where you want to go. You have to do it no matter what. And no one's going to help you. And trust me. I mean, you might be able to get some help, but you know what I mean. Like, no one's going to be standing there every morning when I get up, or sitting here every morning when I get up, and forces me to meditate. I do it because I know what it does. It helps me get through the day a little bit better. It helps me calm down. And then the more I do different types, the more I visualize, the more I see myself. And it was funny too, because like, you have to be specific too. You have to see the behaviors that you're doing. Maybe not behaviors, but the actions, like the little things, like I started to add emotional freedom tapping for a little bit in some of my meditations at the end. You just tap through the points, and that stuff helps calm your nervous system down. And it's just like little things like that. And it's just adding a little bit on here and there. Like one of the things that we are talking about habit is like, add something, you brush your teeth every day, so do something every day after you brush your teeth. I don't know, like a healthy habit or whatever, something. So again, but that's the thing, is that you're the one that has to do it. We all do. And again, it's like, I heard someone talking the other day too, is that make sure you follow through on what it is you say you're going to do, because if you don't, then it messes up like the honest, or like, it just messes up your brain. Like there's days where I'll be sitting here and I'll be like, I don't feel like doing it, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, like, no, I have to get up and do it. Like, I have to go. Like, whenever I go to the ice bath, I'm always debating back and forth, and I'm like, I gotta go. If it helps so much, yes. Is it difficult sitting in the ice water for 3 minutes? Absolutely. But the way you feel when you get out, you're like, yeah, this is great. So it's like, you know, and then I was saying too to the lady the other day, I was like, I thought, you think it would get easier, like your body would get used to it, and she's like, well, what's worth, easy, and or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's true. You got to do something. You got to push yourself to do more of that hard stuff, so it does get better. And I don't remember what the saying goes. Like, you got to do the harder stuff now, so later in life it's easier. And if you do the easier stuff now, your uh, life is going to be harder later. Something in those terms. But that's the thing is you got to have discipline, man. Yeah, integrity, adaptability, empathy, passion, curiosity, leadership. Like these are just some of the qualities that a successful people has. Confidence, resilience, vision, then discipline, integrity, adaptability, empathy, passion, curiosity, and leadership. Like those are the things you need to embody. You see yourself being and doing. And it's crazy, man, when you start to see yourself doing that stuff, when you visualize it, man, your brain creates it. It seems weird, it seems strange, and it was to me too. But like whenever you start to do this stuff, even if it's just a little bit here and there every day, just start somewhere, start small, and just sit there for a few minutes and see yourself when you wake first thing when you wake up, right before you go to bed. Maybe I remember a friend one time said at work he used to do uh, I think it was 10 push-ups and 10 sit-ups every hour. And then, by the end of the day, you get 80 of both. And then, like, he would do a little bit more, like 20 and 20. And then you just think you add that up. So, like, maybe at the top of every hour, you know, visualize yourself being all those things. Because the more you see it, the more that you start to put that image in your head, the more that your brain will help create it in the outside world. But you have to keep doing it over and over and over again. That's the thing is this stuff doesn't work overnight. I didn't get in this chair by, it took a long time. It took a long time to get comfortable getting on here, and it's still, I, I I still some days get a little like nervous and don't do it, but then I always have to tell myself to get back on here. And it was funny too because my friend today was saying, visualize all the like specific stuff, like all the stuff you want to create. Like I want to, I want to be able to do this for a living. So it's just part of life that you need financial support to do something. And then, I can help use that to keep doing more. See yourself on the vacations if you want to go. See yourself, you know, like I put Bali, going back to Bali, like internal knowing, making impact on the world, creating better content, getting more people, finding ways to get more people to see the content. Because I believe we all have this ability to do all this stuff. We just have to put the work in. I mean, I don't know, you feel better. It just creates like more and it creates a better feeling. So for me, it's like, why not get the discipline to do it? And then once you start getting that momentum, it just starts to be simple. And then when you start to create habits, and then you just start to feel better. Oh, that's where I was going. I had a thought earlier and I lost it for a second. But they say that like when you first wake up and you should get out of bed and then you don't, and then that's like creating distrust with your brain. And like I heard this when I was in college in one of my psych classes, and they said that's what it is. Your brain's like, well, we know we should get up, but now you're not doing it, so it creates that distrust in your brain. And but then if you get up and go, then you'll feel better after you do it when you actually do something. I told the story before sometimes when I was in college and I had to do papers late at night, and everything would be like, no, you got to go home. We'll go home. We'll come back and do it before class, and then I'd be like, no, we ain't doing that. I know that I'm not going to get up early enough before class and go here and finish this. We're getting it done now, and so I would fight through that. I would push against all those things, saying, no way, don't listen to this thing in your head that's trying to direct you in a place you don't want to go. And some people call it the ego, whatever you want to call it, and that's what it is. A lot of people think your ego is just thinking that you're better than people, like, and it's not. It's so much more complex than that. It's like all those things in your head that like self doubt, self worth, like all the negative thoughts and ideas and stuff that are in our head is usually based by the ego because it wants to have control over you, because it doesn't want to see you become that successful person, because then it feels like it might not have control. But that's the thing, is you got to find the balance between it. and be that successful person and tell, hey, it's all right, man. You're still going to be around. I ain't trying to lose you. I just want to do a little bit more. You're always going to be there. It sounds crazy, but hey, why not talk to it? Sometimes if it's going wild, I'm just like, all right, enough. I've had enough. Be quiet. And it's crazy. It sometimes does be quiet for a while. So again, it's just that's what I want to teach and that's what I want. I hope people are getting, like something out of it, like impact, because we can all do this stuff if we just start somewhere and go little by little, and until we keep building. But try to embody some of these things and visualize, and test it out and see what happens. Because again, I feel like when you do this stuff, your reticular activating system will find the way to lead you to that person that you see. And when you have your eyes closed, the visualized person, you will. It may not happen overnight, and it's not going to happen if you just do it once. You have to start to do it consistently. Consistency and discipline are two of the big things in creating good habits. Start small. You don't need to go to the top of the mountain overnight. You don't need to jump up there. Just take one little step every day and watch it add up and add up and add up. And then you'll start to feel better about yourself, and you'll actually be doing something. And the brain will see that, hey, you're actually taking these actions, you're taking these steps in the direction of the person you want to become, and it'll help you get there. So, well, I hope you guys got something out of that. Like and subscribe if you ever got any questions, you want me to elaborate a little bit more, you want to know more, just put it in there. And yeah, thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.